Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, or the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right, I apologize for being tardy, people, but I was having technical difficulties. As you can see, the stream just cut off with the intro. Okay, so anyway, let's get ready to get into it. Everyone, please go ahead and like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. You can also follow the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur fan page, and you can follow me on Twitter at DGoddess27. Hello, Christopher, Nessie X, Mr. Mercedes. All right, Jane Doe. Biv Lynn, the Conscious Room, Curly Girl is in the house. Woke One is Black, Sandy. All right, Desmond, I see you. Okay, shout out to my mods in the house. Louise, Filma Bell, K. Sampson, Lee, Capricornus, October, Brandon, Cherokee Descended Dale, October. Okay, I said October. Melanated Brown, Corey is in the house. Let's get into it, Sonia. Shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned in to the Queen. Okay, so hello, the agitator. I see you, beloved. Okay, honey, listen. 50 Cent has come out and told Tyler Perry and Oprah that they need to apologize to Monique and that he's going to put her back on. All right? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Everyone, please go ahead and get those likes up. Please come in, liking, and sharing the video. All right? Don't make me have to cut this video short. Make sure y'all get those likes up. Y'all know they have me shadow banned. Stop playing. All right? Okay, so let's get into it. 50 Cent wants Monique to have a second chance in Hollywood and is looking for people to apologize for allegedly blackballing her in the industry. Namely, Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry. Yeah, they need to apologize. Absolutely. All right. Now, 50 Cent took his Instagram to share his thoughts about the actress by reposting an infographic video from Hot News Hip Hop that discusses the rapper sharing his thoughts about Monique's situation. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this for yourselves. Everyone, please get the likes up. Hey, Odd Negroes officials, Rain Love. Melanie Brown said, I was so hoping you would speak on this, Empress. All right, beloved. Well, I'm glad you're happy.
Now, when Al Sharpton heard the tape, because he heard it, he said, that man is wrong. And you're like my daughter, so I'm going to have to call him up. Kevin Hart heard the tape. He said, Mo, I called him, and he said he don't want to revisit it. And I didn't push that. I was grateful that he kept his word, and he called. Our mutual friend, when I explained what was really going down, she was like, I'm not with that. Let me call him. And she called him. And he said, I don't want to revisit that. Then he called back while we were on the phone, and he said, no, I changed my mind. I will meet with Monique, but not with her husband. And then she has to apologize to me and Oprah Winfrey for saying that we had anything to do with ruining her career. Now, that was recent. So as I sit here with you and you say, wait a minute, I heard that man say he was wrong.
Yes, I did hear it.
And was going to apologize. Well, that's turned into, now I'll meet with you, not with your husband, and now you have to apologize to me. How does that happen? And I'll tell you how. And I want to look right into the camera if I can. Oftentimes, when it comes to a Black woman speaking up and speaking out, it goes unheard until she dies. Then once she dies, then we go back and say, well, she was right, and let's make a movie about it. See, I can give you their names, Eartha Kitt. I can give you their names, Hazel Scott. I can give you their names, Fannie Lou Hamer. I can give you their names, Hattie McDaniel. All of those women took a stand. And all of those women left here heartbroken, unhealthy, looking at a community saying, y'all know I'm right, but why won't anybody say anything? People will ask me, do you dislike or do you hate Oprah and Tyler and Lee? No, let me be clear. I love those people. We love those people. My husband and I love, they're our brothers and sisters. And as my husband always say, Mama, we ain't calling nobody out. We simply calling them up to say, listen, let's make our community better by making it right, not keep running and hiding behind what you consider is your power.
All right. Well, you all heard it. Hold on. Let me get this back up on the screen, beloveds. Hold on. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to say this. You know, I love the fact that Tyler Perry employs all of these Black actors and actresses and, you know, makes all these shows and all that stuff and keeps people working and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, Tyler Perry know he was wrong for telling Monique she needs to apologize to him and Oprah. Say what now? I bet that was the look on Monique's face. Apologize for what? They're the ones that got her blackballed. Let me say allegedly, right? At the end of the day, I don't understand why they feel like she owed them an apology. Honey, if you do something and someone exposes you, they spill the tea, you know, they put you on blast, so to speak. They don't owe you an apology for that. I'm sorry, make that make sense. Now, Oprah, who's much more nefarious than Tyler Perry, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I can give you a whole slew of information on Oprah, and in fact, I think I will. I gave all this information on Oprah, I want to say, on Facebook in maybe 2017 or 18, right? I went in on Oprah because I didn't like how she was talking all greasy about Black men and letting those little devils and thugs come on her platform to lie on Michael Jackson, whom she pretended to be friends with when he was alive. I didn't like any of it, so I exposed her secrets, honey, and she has plenty. Okay? So with that all being said, we'll get into that in a moment. But here's what 50 Cent went on to say. I'm sure Oprah and Tyler Perry would not want to continue to allow their influence to damage at the real Mo Worldwide's career. And this has went on for way too long. This is what he wrote in the caption. He said, so now would be a great time to apologize because I'm going to put her back on. I'm going to put her back on. Now, Monique made an appearance on Turned Out with T.S. Madison back in February. And during her interview, she talked about a conversation she had with Perry on the phone where the filmmaker allegedly apologized to her. And see, that's the thing. When you humiliate somebody in private, when you do something low down to someone in private or in public, I mean, when you humiliate someone publicly and then you do something low down to them in publicly, don't try to come back and apologize in private. Apologize the same way you embarrassed them, right? Make it known. Don't try to do it as a whisper, honey. Don't try to give your apologies as a whisper when you did the damage in a shout. That's all I'm saying, honey. Make it all make sense. Now, after the phone call, Tyler Perry declined meeting with Monique in person, except under two circumstances. Now, isn't that something? You owe this woman an apology, but yet you want to set the ground rules for how it's all going to take place if and when you do, in fact, meet her face to face. Now, the circumstances were that they meet without her husband manager and that she apologized to him. Monique continued by breaking down why she believes the beef between her and Perry has persisted for so long. So, anyway, like she said, and I agree, a lot of times people are scorned or people are, mad at you about something. They may be hating on you about something, or, they just may be upset because you didn't comply with what they wanted you to do. And then so they'll go out there and blast you and talk bad about you to other people. Here's what it looks like to me, just from my assessment. So when Monique wouldn't do what Tyler and Oprah wanted her to do, right? And when she said she wasn't going to work for free. And Lee Daniels had allegedly already told them she wasn't going to do it for free. He said, Mo ain't going to go for that. She ain't going to go for it. But so here's the thing. When people can't control you, I want you to pay attention. So when people cannot control you, right? What they then start to do is try to control the way other people view you. Because Monique said that Tyler Perry went to another producer or director and told them that she was difficult to work with. And that person told him, well, I've worked with her before and she was a pleasure. He said, well, yeah, she's difficult, allegedly. That's what Monique says he said. Now, with that all being said, that's trying to plant seeds, right? You know, I'm sorry, but I feel like this. Monique could have sued them. She could have absolutely sued them. Because if you're going behind her back telling someone she's difficult to work with and you can't prove why she's difficult or whatever, all you have to stand on is the fact that she didn't want to work for free. She didn't want to go over there and promote the movie for free. She didn't do what you wanted her to do, all right? And she wasn't willing to accept your accommodations because she wanted her own. She had her own, you know, way she wanted things to be handled. That doesn't mean she's difficult. I mean, one could say that means that they were difficult, not Monique. So when they're going around saying things about her to other people that could get her blackballed in the industry, I'm just wondering why Monique didn't sue them, because I would have. I would have. You see how Colin Kaepernick sued the NFL when they all colluded and conspired and worked in unison and concert against him to get him kicked out of the NFL permanently, right? That's the same thing. They blackballed Colin Kaepernick. He sued them. Okay, that's what Monique could have done. So they should be grateful and thankful, because I would have sued them real quick. Okay, because what you're not gonna do is go around here and tell lies on me and try to damage my reputation, defame me, and say things that you know are not true when you were the one who did dirt to me. Okay, because I'll sue you real quick. And that's what I think Monique should have done, rather than asking them for an apology. Honey, at this point, I would not want their apology. I wouldn't want it, because I wouldn't feel like it was sincere and like they even meant it, even if they offered it. Because if you were sincere, you would have apologized a long time ago. And if you apologize privately, Tyler Perry, why can't you just do it out in the open publicly? That's all I'd like to know. So anyway, let's say Monique said that her issues with Winfrey, Perry, and Lee Daniels stem from her refusal to spend time promoting Precious during the film's awards campaign. Monique's last role in film on television was in 2016. All right. So anyway, that's unfortunate. But let's talk about Oprah. Because Oprah is behind a lot of things, as far as I'm concerned. She's behind a lot of things. And here's the thing. Oprah has so much to say about other people, but she don't want to talk about her own dirt. And like I said, I exposed all this information in 2018, right, on Facebook. Hold on, let me just make sure. Because when was Leaving Neverland? Leaving Neverland. Hold on. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you in advance. Yeah, okay, so Leaving Neverland came out in 2019. I exposed this a year before that on Facebook. And then I talked about it again on YouTube when I first came on here. So, yes, I exposed Oprah in 2018. And let me just tell you some of the things that I found out about her. Because you see, that book that was written, that unauthorized biography, where her own family said that she was a liar, said that she lied about poverty, sex abuse, and all that. Now I want y'all to pay attention, because listen to the claims of the sex abuse that she talked about. All right, let's talk about that first. Let's talk about that first. Let me pull up this receipt. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Please like and share. Is this it? Hold on, beloveds. I have a lot. Here it is right here. This is it right here. Now I want y'all to listen to this harrowing story that Oprah Winfrey told. But her family said it was all lies and BS. Pay attention. Okay, Oprah said, I was raped when I was only 9 years old. So the media mogul recounted her own experience with abuse, which included being raped at the age of 9 during an appearance at Ball State University, Indiana. And this was part of a lecture series following a chat show hosted by David Letterman. They say anybody who has been verbally abused or physically abused will spend a great deal of their life rebuilding their esteem. This is what she said before 3,000 students. She recounted being physically beaten as a child, saying that it was a cultural experience many African American children went through. She also said she was raped as well as molested. She said, "You're an extraordinary." David Letterman said, "You're an extraordinary person who has lived through hell." That's what he told Oprah. Now, Winfrey talked about some of the positive aspects of her life, how she learned to read before she was 3, how she wished to be Diana Ross, and how she skipped school because she wrote a note to her teacher. So then she says, "I grew up in an environment where children were seen and not heard." Letterman said, "Clarify, you were struck?" Like he's so shocked and appalled. "Oh, yes, I was beaten regularly," says Oprah. She says, "Oh, yes, I was beaten regularly. One such beating," she says, "stuck out vividly in her mind. I went to a well to get some water." Now I want y'all to pay attention. Oprah's trying to make us think her well ran dry. I'm sorry. The story's not funny, but the funny part is that it's all lies according to her own family. So let's get into it. She said, "I went to a well to get some water and carry it in a bucket. And I was playing in the water with my fingers. And my grandmother had seen me out of the window, and she didn't like it. She whipped me so badly I had welts on my back and welts that bled. And then when I put on my Sunday dress, I was bleeding from the welts. And then she was very upset with me because I got blood on the dress. So I got another whipping for getting blood on the dress." Oh, Oprah, it all sounds so sad. I think there's a tear in my eye. Please miss me with it, Oprah. Now, the Ball State Daily News reports that Letterman took Winfrey through each city she lived in throughout her childhood. At every turn, one story of pain after another thickened the air with emotion. Y'all listening to this? Y'all listening, right? They said David Letterman took her through every city that she lived in as a child. Louise is playing the violins, absolutely. Saying that she went through every city and every turn, one story of pain after another thickened the air with emotion. Wow, Oprah, really? Now, she says at 6, she left her grandmother to live with her mother. While there, the woman in charge of keeping the house forced Oprah to sleep on the porch. Let me tell y'all why I'm laughing, because I don't want y'all to think that I condone child abuse or anything like that, and that I find any of the stuff, if it were true, to be funny. But I don't believe a word of it, so that's why I'm laughing, because it's all such elaborate lies and fanciful tales, in my opinion. And I'll tell you why I find it so interesting, because, honey, something I read about Oprah in that unauthorized autobiography, honey, I just said, now this has to be a lie. And guess what? Her cousin said it absolutely was. There was one point in the book where they claimed Oprah said that when she was a kid, she was so poor, honey, that she didn't have toys to play with, and she wanted pets. And so, therefore, she found 2 cockroaches. Cockroaches, pay attention, black people. Now, y'all know, ain't no black people in their right good mind gonna have cockroaches as pets. She said that she had cockroaches as pets, and she played with them, and their names were Mandy and Mindy. This is what, honey, now I'm sorry, Oprah. That's just going too far and doing way too much. But let me continue, honey, because the lies get better as we go. So anyway, she said the lady made her sleep on the porch, and she was raped. She says, "He took me to an ice cream shop. Blood still running down my leg. And bought me some ice cream." Oprah said she was sexually abused from the ages of 10 to 14. When she found out she was pregnant. It was around this time that her mother took her to a detention home. Too many girls were housed in the home, so Oprah couldn't stay. "My mother said, 'You are getting your ass out of this house.'" She said that's what her mother told her. And so she went to live with her father, who forbade her from dating and having sex or any deviant activity. He didn't know she was pregnant when she moved in. 2 weeks after she had the child, it died. It was painful, she said, but both Winfrey and her father saw this as a second chance. It wasn't until she was in an acting workshop that summer that her emotions about the situation surfaced again. She said, I buried all of my feelings about it. I really felt like that baby's life, that baby coming into the world, really gave me new life. That's how I processed it for myself. Even after she escaped her troubled childhood, Winfrey still faced struggles. When she went to Chicago, her supervisor said they had no chance to compete against talk show host Phil Donahue, whom she would eventually take over in the ratings. Though through all of her pain and struggle, she triumphed, no less. She was thankful, she said, for everything that had happened. I would take nothing from my journey. Well, I'll tell you what you can take, Oprah, is these lies that your family said you've been telling all these years. I'm just saying, honey. Everybody's looking for the same thing, she said. That sense of, was I okay? That means, do you hear me? And is what I'm saying important to you? Everyone is looking for that validation. No, Oprah, sadly, everyone is not. I'm not looking for validation outside of myself. I validate myself. I don't look for anyone else to, and therefore, I don't have to make up lies about my life to make people feel sorry for me, Oprah. That's what I don't have to do, okay? Clout chasing, that's what it sounds like. People clout chasing before clout chasing was even a thing, allegedly, right? So I know what it feels like to not be wanted. You can use it as a stepping stone to build great empathy for people. Winfrey remained humble when Letterman told her he was impressed with her life. You understand that this is stunning. This is what David Letterman said. You understand that this is stunning. Your human existence is stunning. So dramatic. I never thought of my life as stunning, she replied. It's just my life. Most people would use this life as an excuse. You are not consumed. She says, I really did believe there was a power greater than myself. Adding that there was nothing in her life that she would ever take back. That's how you know it sounds like a lie. Because if there was anything in your life that you would take back, I would think you would have said the rape and the loss of the baby that died. But she said there's nothing she'd take back. Okay. Everybody has a story, and your story is as equally as valuable and important as my story. My story just helped me define and shape me, as does everybody's story. The Queen of Talk also shared her biggest regret with the Oprah Winfrey Show, saying the one thing I most regret is I wasn't able to move the needle far enough on abuse in this country. She explained that too many people still don't understand sexual abuse is not just about the act of abuse, but about the misuse of trust and shame that follows. Now let's talk about what the family said she was lying about. Let's get into that real quick. Let's talk about that. Everyone, please get those likes up. Please like and share. Here it is. Lesbian flings, prostitution, and abuse lies. Oprah's hidden life. This came out in April of 2010. Now, Oprah Winfrey's relationship with longtime love, Stedman Graham, her reputed dirt poor upbringing in rural Mississippi, her rumored lesbian crushes on women such as Diane Sawyer. Yes, her family said that she was in fact in love with Diane Sawyer and supposedly brought her a diamond toe ring. That's what her family said. I think it was her cousin that said that. But anyway, saying all these stories she has manipulated for decades in the name of sensational ratings, according to writer Kitty Kelly's latest unauthorized biography about Oprah. They say Winfrey concocted stories about sexual abuse. Please pay attention, honey. This is what they said. Says she concocted stories about sexual abuse that she suffered and grossly exaggerated the poverty that she grew up in. They said she went to great lengths to conceal her lesbian affairs, including hefty payoffs. Yes. In fact, they said that her ex-boyfriend, I think his name was Tom West or Tim West, if I'm not mistaken, he claims, allegedly, that Oprah paid him $50,000 to be quiet about her lesbian affairs. Now, $50,000 must be a magic number with Oprah, because they also say that she paid the same amount, $50,000, to the woman who came forward. I believe the woman was 29 years old at the time, who came forward and said that Oprah's father, Vernon Winfrey, had sexually assaulted her when she went to his house to get a scholarship that she supposedly won from his foundation. Oprah supposedly paid this woman $50,000 as well. Now, so they go on to say she lavished romantic gifts, including a diamond toe ring, on ABC talking head Diane Sawyer. Winfrey sold her body to earn extra cash and even described herself as a teenage prostitute. But talk about she was raped. I'm just saying, honey, that's what her family said. This isn't me. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what her family said. She doesn't know the true identity of her biological father, but yet didn't she say she went to stay with her father? And then that the lady there in charge put her out and made her sleep on the porch, something like that. Let me continue. Her relationship with her own mother is so cold that Winfrey won't even let the older woman have her phone number. Winfrey was born in Kosciuszko, Mississippi in 1954. The way she likes to tell it, notice they said the way she likes to tell it, not saying it's true, but the way she likes to tell it, she was so impoverished that she never had any new dresses or dolls and had to adopt 2 cockroaches as pets. I told you, naming them Melinda and Sandy. But her family says that's all nonsense, cap, and BS. Okay? She may not have been well off. This is what her cousin said. Listen, her cousin said she may not have been well off, but Oprah was relatively a spoiled little girl. Where Oprah got that nonsense about growing up in filth and roaches, I have no idea. This is what a relative named Catherine Carr Esther said. And here's what makes me believe that there's validity to everything her cousin is saying and her family in general, because Oprah didn't sue them for libel, defamation, or slander. I mean, hey, if I'm a big-time talk show host and a whole celebrity, and your family members are coming out to hate, your family members are coming out to hate on me, I'm going to sue you for libel, defamation, and slander, honey, family members or not. If you sitting there trying to denounce my stories and credibility and say I'm making all this stuff up and I know it's factual, I will sue you. Oprah didn't sue them, which makes me think that it's all true, okay? And I believe it, because it wasn't just one person in the family that said it. It was numerous people. So anyway, let me continue. Likes up, everyone, please. A like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, so as I said, her cousin, Catherine Carr Esther, said, where Oprah got that nonsense from about growing up in filth and roaches, I have no idea. I've confronted her and asked her, why do you tell such lies? And she told me, that's what people want to hear. The truth is boring. That's what she said. Oprah told her, honey, don't nobody want to hear the truth. The truth is boring. But you know what? Oprah's right. The truth is boring. Because you know what? Most people prefer to hear negativity rather than positivity. Most people don't like the truth. Most people want to hear lies. And so maybe that's why she said and lied and told all those stories. But honey, nevertheless, her family said it wasn't true. So a friend of Esther's added that the manipulation of her past is a key to her success. You see, you tell this little lowly, downtrodden story of rags to riches. Yeah, it makes you a lot more, what is the word I'm looking for? Relatable, right? Because there's many average Joe citizens that, have been through things that she spoke about, right? So when people hear that, that makes her more relatable, especially to Black people. We feel like, oh, yeah, we know somebody that happened to, and maybe even it happened to us. So, yeah, that makes it all more believable and makes her a lot more relatable, hence giving her a bigger fan base, a lot more clout, as we now call it. But, this absolutely catapulted her career, I do believe. So, anyway, they say every move is calculated to further her brand, to lift her image, which is why she does good works. This is what Jewett Battle said. Now, as a teen, Oprah was a wild child, they say. She was promiscuous to the point of prostitution. Her relatives say. Pay attention. They said relatives with an S. Relatives. So numerous people said it like I told you. Promiscuous, as in the days when my grandmother would call it being fast. Hot tail. Right? That kind of stuff. Yeah. So the future star would steal from her mother's purse Oprah. You wasn't a whole thief, were you? Now I want y'all to pay attention. They said she was stealing from her mother's purse. So you literally was stealing your mama's money, but now you don't even want that woman to have your phone number. That's how it goes, Oprah. Okay. It says she was stealing from her mother's purse, pawned her mother's jewelry, and even turned tricks. She was eventually sent to live in Nashville with Vernon Winfrey, who was her mother's former lover and who is listed on her birth certificate as her father. Now, he has been described as the domineering disciplinarian who set her straight. Later determined to become rich and famous, Winfrey was ready to change her story to her advantage, making sure she cultivated her image as an every woman. See, like I told you, so people could relate to her, or at least they thought they could. That meant she had to quell rumors about her sexuality. Couldn't let anyone know the truth of who she really was. I mean, hence staying in the closet is basically what they're saying. Now, at one point, the rumors included seamy talk about ABC, the relationship between Winfrey and Sawyer when Oprah worked there. Now, employees there described. Now, I want y'all to pay attention because this ain't just Oprah's family, honey. This is employees who work there. Okay? So all these people lying on you, Oprah, all these people just making up stories, and you didn't sue any of them. I'm just curious as to why not. Now, they say the employees there described giggly late-night phone calls and a series of lavish gifts from Winfrey, including gigantic sprays of orchids and a 1-carat diamond toe ring to Sawyer. First of all, honey, who's walking around with a carat diamond on their darn toe? I'd like to know, honey. I guess Diane Sawyer. So anyway, they said despite such rumors, Kelly concludes that Oprah was asexual. Still, she quotes sources describing how in 1989, Winfrey was insistent on paying Tim Watts, that's her ex-boyfriend, says she was insistent on paying him and the ex-boyfriend $50,000 to keep it on the low, to keep it on the hush, right? About her lesbian affairs and the fact that her brother, who died of AIDS, was gay. He said she did not want him to talk about her brother being gay. This is what Judy Lee Coulter-Yon said, and this is someone, this is what she said. She also dated Watts, this woman who says this, Judy Lynn Coulter-Yon. Now, they say it's no big deal to have a brother who was a homosexual, but apparently to Oprah it was. Okay, so she didn't want that being known. Tim also said that he knew about some lesbian affairs. This is what her ex said. Okay? Now, as for Winfrey's very public relationship with Stedman Graham, the pair do not even share a bedroom. That's what they say in the book. Landscape architect James Van Sweden of Ulm, who spent years working for the couple, said he planned to design a space for a wedding in front of her new estate, but knew immediately after watching them together, there was never going to be no darn wedding. They say Oprah keeps Stedman around because she wants her audience to accept her as a normal woman with a man in her life. But from what I saw during those 4 years, I can tell you there's nothing there with Stedman. Nothing at all, he said. So now you got the man who worked there fixing their house. You have the employees who worked with her and both Diane Sawyer talking about giggly late night conversations. You have the ex-boyfriend, you have cousins and all of that and other relatives. So everybody's lying, Oprah? I don't think so. So anyway, the man, Von Sweden, goes on to say he's simply a fixture in her life. A window dressing, no less. That's what he calls them, a window dressing, honey. Pay attention. Now, according to her father, Vernon, Oprah admitted that she was not even in love with Stedman. I'm in like, not in love, she told him. Now, she did reportedly have one affair with a man, and that's Entertainment Tonight John Tesh, while the two were working in Nashville. According to Tesh's ex, here comes another person telling something. Pay attention to all of the numerous witnesses and the different various accounts. Okay? Now, according to Tesh's ex, he broke off things because he couldn't deal with the stigma of being an interracial couple. He said one night he looked down and saw her white body I'm sorry. One night he looked down and saw his white body next to her black body and couldn't take it anymore. He walked out in the middle of the night. Wow, that's cold-blooded. So Oprah, you had a zaddy? Interesting. Winfrey has played coy on Tish. Like she don't want to talk about it when asked about it. So Vernon Winfrey said he's been dismayed how Oprah plays fast and loose with the truth. She may be admired by the world, but I know the truth, he says. So does God, and so does Oprah. Two of us remain ashamed. That's what her father said. Now I want y'all to pay attention to what Vernon Winfrey said. He said, she may be admired by the world, but I know the truth. So does God, and so does Oprah. And two of us remain ashamed. So basically saying him and God are ashamed of Oprah's behind, honey. Now, Vernon receives his harshest words for Oprah's best friend, Vernon reserves his harshest words for Winfrey's best friend, Gayle King, who put the kibosh on a biography that he was working on, calling her a dirt hog and a street heifer. He blames King for a rift in his relationship with Oprah. He says, she's become too close to that woman, Gayle. Yeah. What kind of close is he talking about? I can only imagine. Now, King and others in Oprah's entourage worked hard to keep a tight grip on employees in order to keep her out of the tabloids. He says, I thought I would be working for the warm and fuzzy person I saw on television. Oh, this is what a former employee of her Harpo Productions, this is what they said. I thought I would be working for the warm and fuzzy person that I saw on television. A former employee at Winfrey's production company said, but God, I was conned. It's a cult at Harpo. So oppressive, it's frightening. Perhaps the biggest secret of the book is left a secret. Oprah allegedly does not know the true identity of her father. Esther's told Kelly who he is on the condition she not publish the information until Oprah Winfrey's mother comes clean to her daughter. They say, and you'll know when that happens because Oprah will probably have a show on finding your real fathers. As I said, the girl wastes nothing. Basically saying she uses every opportunity that she can. Oh, so nefarious, honey. And here's a picture of her and her father, Vernon Winfrey. And remember, he's not her biological father. She doesn't know who that is. This is her mother's former lover. There she is. But she wants to hate on Monique. As she wants to sit there and dog black men. Pay attention to how she has dogged black men, her and Kale, her bestie. So in this publication, it says Oprah's early heartbreak revealed. Lover that she hoped to marry already had a wife and children, and she thought about suicide after the revelation. So she was dating a married man. Hold on, let me get this straight. So according to sources, family included, Oprah was a prostitute. She was a thief. She was hiding the fact that she was a lesbian. She had a zaddy. She was in love with Diane Sawyer. And she dated a man who was married with children. Wow, Oprah not sounding too good. Clearly sounds like you have a checkered past. All right? Allegedly. So Oprah Winfrey tried to kill herself in 1981 when she discovered the man she was in love with was married with children. Now, the chat show queen was so distraught that she could not be with the radio DJ Tim Watts, that she drove her car into a tree in an apparent suicide bid. She even wrote a suicide note to best friend Gayle, who put her on a 24/7 watch after she survived the crash. Honey, let me tell you something. Tim Watts is the one who told all the information on her and said she paid him $50,000. So this, again, sounds like a lie. Pay attention. Now, is this another grasp at clout and sympathy at the same time? Because they're saying she's supposedly tried to commit suicide because she couldn't be with this man because he was married. But pay attention, this is the same man who said that she was messing around with lesbians and paid him $50,000 to keep quiet about it, and also didn't want him to say nothing about her gay brother who died of AIDS. Doesn't sound like that's the reason their relationship didn't last. Sounds like the relationship didn't last because Oprah had her eyes somewhere else. And yes, I called her Oprah. All right? So goes on to say, in his first comments on their relationship, Watts told the National Enquirer that he and Oprah were both young and at an age when people do stupid things that they might regret later. But he insisted that they were good friends and that they both had put the past behind them. The Enquirer reported that Watts, now 59, met Oprah, now 57, when this publication came out. Mind you, she's older now. In 1981, when she was a production assistant. Now, he was the man she would have married in a heartbeat until the night she followed him home and discovered he was already married with children. A source told the Enquirer that she was so upset, she smashed her car into a tree. After a period of reflection, however, Oprah decided not to kill herself, but did keep the love letters that Watts had sent her. She also used the episode to better understand why she allowed men to walk all over her. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to that, because though she claims that her heart was broken and all that, and then she says she tried to kill herself by driving into a tree, and then she decided to use it to make an episode about how she's allowed men to walk all over her. Well, that's interesting, because remember, her cousin said she doesn't waste an opportunity. So whenever there's an opportunity to gain empathy and sympathy, it looks like she takes it. Now, they go on to say she also used the episode to better understand, okay, why she allowed men to walk all over her. Now, Watts, they say, likes up, everyone. Please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you in advance. Hold on, beloveds. Let me get back to my place. Also nefarious, the life that apparently Oprah has been living. Okay, so they go on to say, Watts, who is still a radio DJ for a station in Baltimore, said, friends are hard to come by, so I'll hold on to the few that I have. What happened between me and Oprah took place a long time ago, and we have both learned from it. He says, I have no hard feelings towards her, and she has none towards me. We were both young and at the age when people do stupid things. And now, Watts, however, refused to talk about the claims by the Enquirer or Oprah's biographer, Kitty Kelly, that he was paid $50,000, never to talk about her relationship or their relationship and how they apparently played house as husband and wife. Well, he likely didn't say anything, just like he said, because she paid him $50,000 to keep quiet, honey. Since he took the money, he don't want to say anything because clearly she could probably sue him. Maybe he even signed a non-disclosure agreement. Now, according to reports, the money could also have been to keep Watts quiet about Oprah's half-brother Jeffrey, who died of AIDS. A source did say that Tim feels horrible about the way he treated Oprah, but he's asked her for forgiveness. Oprah believes in forgiving people, so she did. They've been able to start their friendship or their relationship over. Remember the good times, not the bad. The story about Watts the story about Watts is the latest in a series of upheavals for Oprah. Since finishing the 25-year run of her Oprah Winfrey Show, she has relocated from Chicago to California to help bolster her alien-owned network. So anyway, honey, it looks like she told a whole bunch of stories. And they say she claimed she was raped and abused by unidentified family and friends as a child, and at the age of 14 gave birth to a son who died a week later. Having spent more than 2 decades on TV, however, she is now one of the most successful women in the world, with a fortune estimated to be $2.7 billion. After her relationship with Watts, she met marketing executive and motivational speaker Stedman Graham in 1986. The pair have been together ever since, and whilst they did once get engaged, they never married. Well, I'm sure they haven't, and I'm pretty sure we all should know why. I mean, I always thought that her and Gayle King would get married. I'm just saying. And so I'm going to show a picture of Tim Watts. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. That's him. So, my whole thing is, honey, Oprah has definitely lived a checkered life. Okay? Definitely, as far as I'm concerned. But hold on, let's talk about this real quick because I almost forgot to mention this. So, as I have told you before, Oprah had a lot going on at that school she opened up in Africa. Cops probe body of dead newborn found at Oprah Winfrey School. Police reportedly investigated a dead newborn, and they didn't know who was the person that got this girl pregnant. This girl was a minor, right? And this happened in Johannesburg, South Africa, February the 18th, 2011. This was reported. Oprah Winfrey School for Girls in South Africa was rocked by a fresh scandal as police investigated the body of a newborn found in one of the students' bags. The baby's body was found on a Wednesday in a bag of a 17-year-old girl who was brought to the hospital where she was being treated for excessive bleeding. Now, it was believed that the girl who was not identified gave birth at her school, the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls, which is located outside of Johannesburg. No charges had been filed against the girl, and police were willing to discuss the case with the director of public prosecutions once the investigation had been finalized. So that was just one of the incidents, but they say the Leadership Academy has had problems in the past prior to this. Shortly after the all-girls school opened in 2007, a school matron by the name of Virginia Tiny Makapo was charged with sexually molesting several girls. At the time, Oprah Winfrey flew over to South Africa to offer a personal apology to the students and their parents, citing her own experience with sexual abuse. So she was clearly keeping up that story about being sexually abused. Now, she also fired the school's head mistress, Larada Nomvuyo Mzame. Now, saying there is nothing more serious or devastating to me than allegations of misconduct by an adult against any girl at the academy, Oprah said. I will do everything within my power to ensure their safety and well-being. I'm going to tell you like this. Some people said that there was trafficking going on at school, and I'm talking about sex trafficking. Now, I'm not saying there was, honey. Don't get it wrong. I'm not saying there was. I'm just saying some people have said that there were or was sex trafficking going on at that school. And that one of those people is one who got that girl pregnant. I'm just telling you what people said. So anyway, let me continue. So Makapo was acquitted of the charges, an action which was profoundly disappointing, according to Oprah. I will forever be proud of the 9 girls who testified with the courage and conviction to be heard, she said. Winfrey was later sued by Mozambique for defamation, and the suit was settled out of court. The terms of the settlement were not revealed. See, that's what I'm saying. If somebody lies on you, especially if they're telling a lie that's detrimental, right? Like they're accusing you of being a child molester and you know you didn't do it, I'd sue them too. I would absolutely sue them too. Honey, who lets that slide? So anyway, they say there was another scandal at her school. The $40 million Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls opened in January of 2007 with great fanfare, with celebrities and politicians from all around the world attending the opening ceremony. Let me tell y'all something. I want y'all to pay attention. They say there were celebrities and politicians from around the world attending the opening ceremonies. Why y'all think all those people came there to that all-girls school for Oprah? And they say, like I told you, there was some trafficking going on. And they also say a lot of these rich elite people, and politicians included, are into young kids. And they take them to different places for things like Jeffrey Epstein was doing. Maybe that's why they were there at that school for the grand opening. I'm not saying that's why they were there. I'm just saying, hey, could be. I don't put it past them. Now, they say the school's purpose was to give girls from underprivileged backgrounds the opportunity for a quality school education, a problem in South Africa where education equality post-apartheid seemed to be an issue or remained an issue. Let me say something else. I want you all to pay attention because I just did a story a few days ago on the pastor who went over there to Haiti and adopted those children, and how Bill Clinton went to his foundation and took pictures with him and everything, right? And the fact that there was at least 10 missionaries from America who went over there, and they were caught taking 33 Haitian children, trying to take 33 Haitian children out of the country without permission from anyone, not from their parents, not from the authorities, anyone. And Bill Clinton, once again, had ties to those people and went over there and spoke on their behalf and all of that, right? So with that all being said, I just want you to pay attention, because that man who went over there, that pastor, right? He and his wife went over there and opened a school. Y'all remember that, right? They went over there claiming to be missionaries, and they opened up a school and all of that to help the poor little downtrodden Haitian children. That's the same thing Oprah said she did. It said the school's purpose was to give girls from underprivileged backgrounds the opportunity for equality or for a quality school education, a problem in South Africa where education quality post-apartheid remained an issue. Y'all see that? Y'all making the comparisons now? Y'all paying attention yet? My whole thing is this: Oprah don't have room to talk about anybody, be hating on anybody, say anything negative or nasty about Monique. That's what she don't have any time to be doing, as far as I'm concerned. And also, as far as sitting there trying to dog out and drag black men like Michael Jackson, who's already dead and in the grave, honey, and it's not here to defend himself and allowing other people to do so and use her platform to push the narrative. Well, that's the last thing she should have been doing. She didn't have all that smoke for Weinstein, remember. She said, well, when they asked her about Harvey Weinstein, she said, and I quote, "If we spend this on Weinstein, then the moments will be lost." So what now? Because that ain't what you said about Michael Jackson when those two lying little thugs and devils came on your stage. You didn't sit there and say, wait a minute, we shouldn't talk about Michael Jackson because the moment will be lost. You let them tell all those lies, and you agreed with them. Absolutely did. So I'm just saying, what did she have to say about Bill Cosby? So my whole thing is, a lot of these rich celebrities go to these countries where they have poor, impoverished black children, melanated children, and they go over there and act like they're the little saviors. We're coming to help them. We want to make their lives better, help them have a better future. We want them to have quality educations. And then next thing we know, these children are being sexually assaulted and abused. And nobody seems to know nothing. And within 10 months of that school that Oprah opened, within 10 months, there was numerous allegations of sexual assault. Do y'all think that's a coincidence? Because I don't. I don't. And y'all do remember about 2 or 3 years ago, they had a story out now. They say it was rumors, but I found it very interesting when they said that Oprah had some type of tunnels underneath her home for sex trafficking and all of that. And I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying there were rumors about that, right? Remember? And Oprah responded to it in a tweet. Honey, if somebody said that I had sex tunnels under my house that was being used for trafficking children, you think I'm going to sit out a darn tweet? Or you think I'm going to come out publicly and speak and denounce it and deny it and say that it's all a lie? And be trying to figure out who started the lie and the rumor so I can sue them and press charges. She sent out a tweet saying it wasn't her, and it wasn't her house. Now, I found that very interesting when she did that, because I remember when people went in on her bestie, Kale King, and yes, I said Kale, when they went in on her for the stuff that she said about Kobe Bryant during the interview, right, with his friend Leslie. I can't think of her last name off top, but the basketball player, right, for the WNBA. Remember when people went in on Kale and Oprah came to her defense, spoke out publicly with tears in her eyes and said, when someone asked her, Oprah, how's Gail doing? She's not doing good. She's not doing good. She's really hurt. She's really upset. She did all that for Gail. Now, Gail didn't even have any serious allegations of anything like that against her. She was just getting backlash, or shall I say blacklash, for the things that she said about Kobe Bryant. Lisa Leslie. Thank you, beloved. That's her name, Lisa Leslie. So with that all being said, you came out with tears in your eyes, so concerned and hurt because people were going in on your friend Kale, about an interview where she was talking grease about a black man who had died, which Gail and Oprah both do and have been known to do. But you didn't come out and speak about people saying you had sex tunnels for trafficking children under your house. I don't know how that makes sense. I'm sorry. I just don't. Now, I'm not saying that she actually had those tunnels under her house, mind you. I'm just saying those were rumors and allegations. And if they were false, I would have done more than offer up a simple tweet, honey. And if you ask me, yeah, Oprah does need to apologize to Monique publicly so we all can see it and hear it. And she needs to apologize with not just her mouth, but with monetary compensation, because I can think about all the money Monique could have been making, especially being an Oscar winner, had she not been blackballed and blacklisted by Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry. Okay? And 50 Cent's right. And I'm glad he is putting her back on. Yes, Oprah absolutely is a hot mess. Okay? So anyway, with that all being said, hold on. The agitator said which Kale should have been gotten with her mammy and self. Absolutely. My aunt Egypt says Harpoon, where all those girls in that school magically disappeared. Closed the school. Parents haven't seen or heard a word. Very suspicious. Okay. Silent D said yes. Apologies with cash. Absolutely. So Christopher says, facts, my queen. Thank you, beloved. C-Stan says she's going to give all her money away to them kids in Africa instead of FBA kids when she died. Here's the thing. I don't think she's going to give those kids in Africa anything, honey. And I just want y'all to pay attention because here's what I feel like. Yeah, she did disrespect Toni Braxton, right? But here's the thing. I don't feel like a lot of times these people actually go over there to help those kids. I feel like they go over there to be predators upon those kids, and they think it's easier to get away with it because they're in a whole nother country, right? And also they can easier sweep things under the rug and keep them on the hush, than they could if they did those things here. That's just what I think. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. That's my opinion, because at the end of the day, if she has all this money to spend on building schools, honey, there's black kids here that are impoverished and living in bad neighborhoods, crime-riddled and all of that. I mean, you can't build a school for them. I'm just saying. So I always have my suspicions. Anyway, with that all being said, everyone please like and share this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time I go live. Welcome says, my mother hated Oprah back in the 80s. I now know she was correct. Absolutely, beloved. Absolutely. Okay. Craig says Tim Watts is the one she got fired. Oh, really? See, I didn't even know that. Nefariousness continues, honey. So Spiritfield said, I believe they were violating the children. I absolutely agree. Davida said, Queen is a young lady from Harpo. Is a young lady from Harpo's school one of the 100 that came back from being kidnapped? I heard that she was. I don't know. I can't substantiate that, beloved. So anyway, everyone, please like and share. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this lovely evening. And I hope to see you all tomorrow morning for your morning wake-up calls. All right. Talk to you all again soon. Hey, don't forget to share this video. Y'all know they have me shadow banned, right? Okay. Just making sure. And listen, I'm about to upload some videos on the other channels, Authentic Black Goddess TV and the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. So look out for the notifications. Peace.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'm I'll put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.